What up, y'all? It's the Morning Hustle with L'Oreal and Kyle Santillian. And you know how we do it, man. We keep our doors open for guests to fall through and let us know what's going on in their lives. Our guest today, he is the founder of Fanbase. Yes, he is the family of the legendary Isaac Hayes. Our brother Isaac Hayes III is in the studio.
Yeah.
What's happening, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How you guys doing? What's good?
Good,
Amazing.
man. Good, yeah. So let's start with the fact, the thing that's kind of floating around in the news right now is the fact that, of course, the presidential election is coming up. The candidates are on their campaign trails. They're popping up in different cities doing rallies. And Donald Trump decided to use some music of your father's without the family's permission. And you guys are trying to put a stop to that, correct?
Yes, sir. We filed a lawsuit against the Trump campaign, RNC, Turning Point USA, the NRA, and Donald Trump for president. And Donald Trump, because he's used a song written by my father about 134 times. About 134 times without our permission. So I had to seek out legal counsel to stop the use, and so that's what we've been doing.
Dang.
And how does that work out? Because I feel like we go to events and places all the time.
Yeah.
And people, they have a DJ on stage and they're playing different music. So how do you know when you can actually say oh, this music is representing the person versus they're just playing it in between intermissions or whatever the case?
So with political campaigns, you fill out something called a political use license, specifically for candidates, with something called a PRO, which is like BMI ASCAP, which collect royalties. At any given moment, a songwriter can reach out to those people and say, hey, I don't want this person using my song, or I don't want any of my music used in a campaign at all.
Oh, wow.
So at one point, we sent a cease and desist, but then at another point, the song was removed from Donald Trump's use, and he was notified that he was no longer to use the song, and he continued to play the song.
But that's strictly political.
Strictly
so it's
for
like
politics.
If me, a rapper, or anybody else wanted to go up there and play your father's music, then it's fine.
Yeah, because the venues have a license to play, like nightclubs, arenas have a license, a blanket license to play any music. But for political campaigns, since it's politics and artists can be very funny about who they want to be aligned with, that is why. And I speak to that. If you're an artist that doesn't want your music used in a political campaign or by a politician, reach out to BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC and have your music removed.
What if I know might sound like a dumb question, but I'm really asking because it's I'm thinking of beliefs now. So what if it's like a church or a KKK rally? Say it's like a KKK and they're like, yeah, we love Isaac Hayes. Can you sue them?
I don't know about that one. That one I don't have. I know about political campaigns, since they do so much and they move around specifically. And this wasn't even politics for me. This was more about the character of Donald Trump.
Right.
As opposed to being Republican or Democrat. It was about his character.
Which song was it?
Hold On, I'm Coming. So it's a very famous song performed by Sam and Dave, written in 1966. By my father. And my father lost the rights to his music a year before I was born. And so when you write in copyright law, it takes 56 years for the copyright to return to the original author. So if the author's dead, which my father's no longer here, it goes to the heirs. So we just got that song back in 2022. So imagine the song written in 1966. We get it back in 2022 in March. And then in May, Donald Trump starts using it illegally.
Yeah.
His math wasn't mathing. He thought he was still within he missed a couple years.
Right. So now the family has full control of all of the music and the estate of Isaac Hayes music, publications, written works.
It comes back in layers, because remember, he wrote, so every year more songs come back. So we haven't even terminated the publishing that goes along with my father's artist career. So Isaac Hayes, the solo artist, from Hot Buttered Soul through Shaft and Black Moses and all that, we haven't terminated those songs yet. And then there's a batch of about 1,500 other records that sampled Isaac Hayes in hip hop. So the Creams by Wu-Tang Clan, the Dr. Dre's, the Snoop Dogg's, Old Dirty Bastards, all these rappers that have been sampling Isaac Hayes for the last 50 years of hip hop. We got to terminate those songs. And what I mean by terminate, it doesn't mean that we're ending the song. It means we're reclaiming the publishing away from the publisher back to our family.
Damn, so all of those years, and I know this is a little separate from the Donald Trump issue, but all of those years, the family wasn't seeing royalties.
Yes.
This is the first opportunity for the family to benefit from the sampling of your father's music.
Absolutely.
Just now starting to come into fruition.
Just now.
But not only that, they weren't getting or given the rights to even use it. Is that correct? They were just using it because there was no living person that was over?
No. Like, so my dad lost his rights through a bankruptcy, which was a real tragedy. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. Usually, like, if let's say you default on a loan, the IRS or the bank is supposed to come and garnish your income.
Right.
So let's say you get paid a check. They just take your check. With my father, they actually took the asset. So they took the rights to the music.
Wow.
And then, unbeknownst to them, they actually auctioned the music off in a private auction to two white dudes. And like 2 or 3 years before sampling came about for $50,000, and didn't even tell my dad. So they gave away. So my dad's publishing probably made about $60 million over the last 50 years. And the bank that had that as an asset actually auctioned it off for $50,000 and didn't even tell my father. My father could have bought his publishing.
Right, $50,000. I would have bought it. I wish they would have called me.
It was like in 83, 84, but he could have got his publishing back.
Yeah, for sure. Damn, yo, that's tough. All right, so even nowadays, man, if somebody wants to use your father's music in a legal way, what do they have to do? What's the process for somebody saying, today, I want to use that song?
So we have an amazing partnership with Primary Wave. We did that deal about almost 2 years ago. We're in a co-publishing partnership. A lot of people sell their catalogs. You ever hear people selling their catalogs?
Yep.
Yeah. So I didn't decide to sell because, number one, we didn't have all the rights back, and there's no reason to make a deal. But talk to Primary Wave. Universal administers the publishing. They're great at doing their job, and we really appreciate that. And the song like "Hold On, I'm Coming," which is really one of the things that I talk about all the time, is that is probably one of the biggest gems in my father's catalog, because that song gets licensed every single year.
Yeah, I hear that song
30 times. Like we just got another license. I think matter of fact, we got another license last week, and the license is like $200,000 just for the publishing. So the master and the publishing. So they usually pay equal for both. Use a master, it's a certain fee. Use a publishing, it's a certain fee. So that's why every time Donald Trump had played this record, the penalty is about $150,000 every time you play it without permission.
And it's crazy because he's not even singing on the record. He wrote the record.
Well, those are the people that have the right. The artists really don't. When you see artists say, "I don't want you using my music," that's not really. They don't really have the right. Whoever has the publishing does. So these stories about Celine Dion saying she doesn't want Trump using her song "My Heart Will Go On" from Titanic, it doesn't matter if she didn't wrote it. James Horner wrote that song.
So
Trump can still use it. But if James Horner's family says stop playing it, then they have to stop playing the song.
Now, what about the situation where it's like Michael Jackson's family and his mother? She's fighting right now because she doesn't want the estate to be sold.
Yeah.
Do you have issues because it's more than just you and the estate, correct? So how do you come to understandings when it comes to business matters?
So fortunately for us, as a family, I've been in music publishing probably for 20 years, and so I went to my family when we were about to, start the estate and take control of my dad's estate, and say, "Hey, look, we need to merge all of our beneficiary interests into one company, and then name someone manager," which was me, and then therefore I don't have to go ask 12 people for permission for a sample or 12 people for permission to license a song or anything like that. So I am the president and CEO of Isaac Hayes Enterprises, so all those decisions flow through me. And most of my family members don't really know a lot about music publishing, so it makes it easy. But there are times where families, argue and bicker, and they go back and forth because everybody does have a little say so.
Right.
And a lot of times in black icons, that's why you don't hear so much music from people like Barry White. A lot of people all the time, because they're fighting over who gets to do what. The Ramones were fighting for years, a rock band, so sometimes the legacy gets lost if people can't agree.
Damn.
What was the biggest thing you and your family fought over when it came to your dad's music?
We really didn't fight over. We haven't fought over anything when it comes to the music, because at that point there was nothing really to do, because people were just licensing his music, which is fine.
Okay.
And there's things that my father would not align with, but one thing he was always an ally of was hip hop. He loved everybody. He loved RZA. He loved Snoop.
That's dope.
He loved Dre. He loved everybody that sampled his music. So it was a creative expression for him. Young kids from the ghetto, from where he's from. He's from Memphis. He used to pick cotton and work in a hog factory. So he understands coming up from nothing through music and making it. So he always loved that artists had creative expression to be able to use his music and create other music.
That's dope.
Has anybody reached out for the rights to do a movie?
What? No, but I'll say this. We're having conversations about a documentary. I think my father's story is very, very unique because it goes into, poverty, and my father couldn't read, but he learned how to read and became salutatorian in his high school, and he couldn't really play, but he became a musical genius, won an Oscar. His story is remarkable. He was an icon. He set the trends of fashion. A lot of these artists out here that wear sunglasses and have bald heads and wear gold chains, they kind of got it from like 1969 from Isaac Hayes doing that. Fur boots, tight leggings,
fly stuff only.
Chest out, oily. You know what I mean? Nappy beard, chocolate dude. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of set the tone for all of that. So we're in talks to do that because his story needs to be told. We had the Stax documentary. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's on HBO.
Stax?
The Stax documentary. It's very, very important documentary, but my father is really a large part of that documentary because he was the biggest artist on Stax Records.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was at one point he was 70% of the revenue of the company, and they had about 30 artists.
Wow.
And your dad did some acting too.
Yeah.
I remember him being in certain. I was trying to remember which films. I couldn't remember which ones. Which ones top of mind?
The one that I'll make you laugh is I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna make him. He slipped on the bullets and shot himself up, and I was in middle school when that came out, so that was funny. Like, your daddy slipped on bullets. But he did a movie called Truck Turner that he did the score for, and originally the reason he got to do the Shaft score, the Shaft soundtrack, is because he wanted to play Shaft. So he said, I'll do it if you let me audition. He didn't get the part. Richard Roundtree did, which is amazing. R.I.P. Richard Roundtree, an icon who brought that character to life. But then my dad went on to score the film and then become the first African American man to win an Academy Award for music.
That's crazy.
That's fire.
So if there was a film though, and they left it up to you to say like, we're gonna have you pick whoever's gonna play your dad, who could you see playing him?
Listen, it's been one name in my head for the last few years. It's gonna be controversial at this point, but I don't care. I will say this right now with the utmost confidence. I want Jonathan Majors to play my father.
Oh my God! I thought you was gonna say a white man. No. I was so scared because you said controversial.
No.
You said controversial, so I wasn't sure.
No, it might have been. But Jonathan Majors is one of the most incredible actors of our generation, and trust me, I've looked at him acting, his timbre and his tone and the way he speaks. My father was a very soft-spoken man, but powerful, and Jonathan exudes that. I've watched everything. I watch him from Lovecraft Country to everything that he's been in. I've been watching him. I was like, that's Isaac Hayes. He can embody it. Next time you see Jonathan Majors, think of him with a bald head and a beard and some sunglasses. You'd be like, yeah, he could play Isaac Hayes.
Yeah,
that's fire.
100%. So I'm gonna put it out there in the universe because I believe he's a phenomenal actor. And
I can see him doing that.
Yeah,
Me too.
He's phenomenal.
Me too. All right, so let's bring it to what you have going on currently as well. Obviously, you guys are taking care of your father's estate.
Yeah.
But you are also the founder of Fanbase,
Yes.
social media app.
Yes.
For the people that don't know what Fanbase is, explain it to them real quick.
Fanbase is an intentional project, an intentional application, social media platform built by me to give Black culture an opportunity to own and monetize everything that we do on social media. Most people build apps because they're trying to do something fun and all that. And believe me, Fanbase is extremely fun. But what I realized is that Black culture is inventing things with our culture, but we don't have infrastructure. So think of infrastructure as the car. Think of Black culture as the gasoline, right? And so we put our gas into other people's cars that wind up being vehicles that are worth billions and billions of dollars. Or we have our inventions stolen, right?
Yeah.
So think about this, and I say this, we have to start building infrastructure. So a Black man invented ice cream, but we're not Breyers, we're not Edie. A Black woman invented the alarm system. Why don't we own Brinks or ADT, right? And so we innovate social media to the level that makes Instagram and TikTok and X with Black Twitter, all these platforms, multi-billion-dollar platforms, but we don't own them. So Fanbase is the first everything app. So it has all the functionality of a TikTok, an Instagram, a YouTube, a Clubhouse, and X Spaces all in one. That's free to download and free to use. And then you can also monetize that people can tip you so they can like posts, but they can love them. And then you can also have subscribers, which I came up with in 2019, which is in-app purchase peer-to-peer subscription. So not using a credit card, but clicking on your phone for Apple Pay or GPay and subscribing directly to you. So if you've ever seen that on Instagram or TikTok, they got that from me in 2019.
You couldn't have patented it? So.
I filed a patent on it, but and those patents take a long time to go through. But I filed a patent on that. I filed a patent on something called content migration. So starting social media platforms is really hard. So you can literally take all of your content on Instagram and TikTok and move it over to Fanbase with the captions and everything, all of it. Up
Which
to
I've done.
Which Kyle did.
Yeah.
And I filed a patent on that. And so I'm just trying to build something that's so important because, you know, these companies wind up being billions and billions of dollars. And the bigger part about this is I've been able to raise $10 million through equity crowdfunding. So people have invested. So the general public, people out here listening right now have put $300, $400, $500 into Fanbase and actually have stock in the company. And the company's grown from a $20 million company to a $160 million company.
Oh, wow.
I'm raising money right now. I'm raising $17 million. We just crossed $2 million. But this is a call to the entire universe to go to startengine.com/Fanbase and invest in Fanbase and own equity, because it's important, because you're actually getting shares in the company. And when you think about these exits, when you hear about these companies selling for billions of dollars, usually on the other end of that are a small group of white dudes that have been doing it for the last 50 years.
Yeah, investment groups.
But exactly.
Yeah.
But the investment group now is the general public because of a law called the Jobs Act. And so the general public can invest in early stage startups. And so the minimum to invest in Fanbase is $399. And so when we talk about $1.8 trillion worth of spending power in the black community, let's take some of that and invest in startups. And Fanbase is one that any user that uses the platform can increase the value by being an owner and then using it. So if there's a famous person out there, let's say somebody like Will Smith. If Will Smith goes and buys a bunch of shares in Fanbase and then moves his content to Fanbase, Fanbase is going to be $1 billion company in 2 weeks. It's going to go from a $160 million company to $1 billion company. And what I'm telling you is that is going to happen eventually. Somebody's going to get on the app. We have about 800,000 users, but we haven't had that like, boo, where the rocket ship takes off and become a household name. It takes a while to build brands like that. So I encourage everybody, you got to go invest. It's really important. We're trying to reach $5 million by the next 30 days. So we reached $2 million. So the minimum to invest again is $399. Go to startengine.com/Fanbase. I want everybody to invest because, again, the eventuality of these companies is they either get acquired, so some bigger company like Apple or Google or Yahoo buys the company, or they go public, and then everybody sells their shares and cashes out. Right. And then on that side, that's when the general public usually gets to invest, after everybody done cashed out the big way.
They're like, oh, wait, now I want to be down. Like, we said you could be down at $399.
We said you could be down when it was worth $160 million, not $160 billion.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the point. If you're in a company when it's worth $160 million and it goes to $1.6 billion, $16 billion, and $160 billion, you do the math on how many times your money will multiply when you get to seed invest in a company rather than do the retail investing, which can be good, but it's a very, 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 very up and down game. You know, stocks go up, go down. This right here is a steady growth climb that takes about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and then companies exit. So it took Uber 9 years to go public, from 2010 to 2019. But the OGs that invested in Uber were already rich dudes. One of them put 5 G's into Uber, and it was worth $24 million when they went public.
Damn.
Wow.
Imagine from $5,000 to $24 million.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a 5,000x return. So imagine that. But my point is, in social media, we need to be doing that.
Right.
Because, you know, Facebook is a $1.2 trillion company. You see what I'm saying? ByteDance, which is TikTok's parent company, is about a $350 billion company. Instagram, away from Facebook, is like a $250 billion company.
So, you know what's ill is I remember when Facebook went public too, and I had no knowledge, none of the information that you're talking about now. But I remember when it went public and people were talking about it, and I just, had no information. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I want to be intentional, because we will be customers to our own creations if we do not own these infrastructures that we blow up. We blow up everything. Black culture makes everything cool. You can't. It's impossible.
Definitely do.
It's impossible to promote anything as being cool without the assistance of black people. I say this: it can be sentimental, it can be romantic, it can be adventurous. But for cool, you need our dances, you need our songs, you need Drewski. You need Funny Marco. You need anything like that. You need our clothing. You need our essence, our energy. But that is something that's like intangible. But it goes into these companies. It goes into clothing brands. It goes into all of our music goes into record companies that are owned by predominantly white people, but black people make hip hop is the biggest genre in the world, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
And they're the mechanism that powers that. So that's my point. Is all of our essence, all of our swag, all of our culture goes into gaming apps like Twitch. Kai Cenat, but he doesn't own Twitch.
Yeah.
But he's pumping it up.
They took him off when they was ready to, just because he said something they said went against the term.
This is a shout out to two people that don't get credit for Twitch. Do you know why Twitch exists? I think I said this before, but you know why Twitch even exists?
Why?
Soulja Boy and Bow Wow. You know why? Everybody remembers
through
this.
the phone.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Back in the late 2009s and 10s, there was an app called Justin TV. I don't know if you remember.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was Ustream and Justin TV. Well, Soulja Boy and Bow Wow got on Justin TV, and it blew up. It blew up so much to the point that Justin TV says we need to make a video game arm of Justin TV, and that was Twitch. And then they shut down Justin TV. Twitch sold for billions of dollars worth of to Amazon. And Soulja Boy and Bow Wow don't own any part of Twitch, but they're the reason that Twitch exists in the first place.
Oh God,
That's
you done gave Soulja Boy another reason.
No, listen.
I was the first person to be on Twitch.
Right.
I mean, they helped make Twitch. They helped blow it up. Him and Bow Wow was on Justin TV.
Twitch.
Yeah.
But so that's my point, is the fact that we can own infrastructure in social media technology. Again, I'm gonna ask y'all, what do you think TikTok would be without these kids doing dances in the music?
Oh, no, that's what made it.
Right.
That's what made it.
What would Instagram be without Funny Marco and Drewski and all these people that make these skits, and what would it be?
Yeah.
The fashion, the jokes.
Commercials.
It would be nature hikes and pet videos. Let's keep it 100.
The pet videos are pretty cool.
No, the pet videos are cool. I post hella pet videos. But my point is that on the back end of that, there are people that are putting generational wealth into their family's legacy. And so we have to be able to do that ourselves. We have to own these companies. And this has never been done before. You can't, first of all, Fanbase in itself is an anomaly because we haven't been here since Black Planet. And that was 2000.
Yeah.
It's 24 years later.
Yeah, thanks.
And so I was intentional about building the infrastructure of social media that we could own it. It's fun. We got photos, videos, stories, live, Flicks, which is like TikTok. We got audio rooms, which is like X Spaces and Clubhouse. And we have this thing called Fanbase Plus, which is like YouTube. And we're about to add RTMP streaming and gaming to the platform by the end of the year. So there's so many things that Fanbase can do. And I built it for the next generation of users because, let's be real, Facebook is for the old people. Facebook is where you go to.
I don't got a Facebook.
Facebook is where you go to look at, one kid said Facebook is where old people go to brag about their grandchildren.
That's
Damn.
funny.
That's real.
It's interesting though because
I agree.
I have different social medias for different things.
Yeah.
Facebook is how I do know what my grandmother or my cousins or my family is doing.
Right.
Instagram has been like this, the media space.
Right.
You know what I mean? TikTok is where you go to kind of laugh or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, you're right, man.
And
you're right.
There's people I don't even know about because I don't do TikTok. I only do Instagram. So like people be like, yeah, you don't know Mr. Hotspot? And I'm like, who the hell is that?
Right.
Right.
Like I really don't be knowing, but it's almost like you're out the loop if you're not on certain things.
Because they're generational movements. Because there was an Instagram generation and a Facebook generation and a MySpace generation. And MySpace is gone.
But I kind of feel like I'm part of the MySpace
You
generation
are.
too.
I'm part of MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram generation. But then there's a Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok generation.
Yeah, that's true. I'm the
And
Snapchat one. I'm the Snapchat.
And then there'll be more people. There'll be more apps to come along that people will download and use, and then they'll become multi-billion-dollar companies. Because my brother just started at Morehouse this week, and his Instagram page is as blank as a piece of paper. He's not on Instagram because I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
So there has to be something for
He's
young
on
people.
TikTok.
He's exactly because I'm not on TikTok.
Because now Instagram for a certain generation is become the old app.
Exactly. And 20 years from now, Fanbase will be the old guy. No, 20 years from now, Fanbase going to be the old guy in the club. But by that point, it'll be $100, $200 billion company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Through people investing in us scaling the company up, it'll be that. I hope that it'll be that. I believe that it'll be that. But the way that we can get there together is actually having shares in the company, investing and owning it. I keep saying invest, invest, invest.
Yeah.
The fastest way to grow wealth in this country is through technology. We don't get opportunities to invest in tech startups, but we love to use them. We love to use ChatGPT and TikTok and all these, and X and all these platforms, but the chance to actually have some of that as shares and for the minimum of $399. Sometimes it takes $10,000, $5,000, $50,000 just to be able to get a piece of the company.
Right.
But through equity crowdfunding, we're allowed to have take small amounts of investments from large amounts of people. Now, I'll say this to people listening. I know you have this amount of listeners. I know you do, right? 28,500 people.
We got more than that.
I know. 28,000. I'm going to repeat this. 28,500 people investing $600 is $17 million. Think about that. 28,500 people. To the 28,500 people that are mixed in with all the other people that want to invest, you invest $600 in Fanbase and we'll raise $17 million. 28,500 people is $17 million.
I got about that many followers. They better send me that money and then send it to Fanbase too. Make me a millionaire and let's make you a billionaire. No.
But it's ownership though. That's the thing about it though. I want people to own. I want us to finally. I just get exhausted, man, because what we do is we complain. People, as a tech founder every day, people send me 10, 15 celebrities a day that complain about the fact that they got kicked off Instagram or they can't go live or they got shadow banned.
Right.
And I'm like, but y'all stay.
Yeah.
When you literally have the, and here's the thing that's very, very important to point out. White creators, they don't stay. They'll leave because they know that they make the platform doesn't make them. We don't realize that. We think Instagram makes us. We think TikTok makes us. We make them. They don't make us. Everybody makes fun of Bad Baby, right? Catch Me Outside. If you go to her Instagram page right now, you might see 5 posts, but she got 16 million followers. You want to know why? She's driving people away to other places that she can monetize and make money because Instagram doesn't mean anything to her because she can't reach 16 million people.
I feel that.
So why are we there?
You're right.
So
how can people follow up with you? They want to make the investment. They want to get down with Fanbase. Give them that info.
Download the app. We're on iOS and Android in 190 countries and territories around the world. We have about 800,000 users. We're launching a brand new feature this week. Our audio room hallway will now be on the web for anybody to listen to. So that means any audio conversation that's happening on Fanbase, you just go to fanbase.app/audio and the hallway will pull up and you can listen to conversations. If you want to join the conversation, download the app. If you want to chat in the chat room of the conversation, download the app. And then investing, and L'Oreal, I want you to invest in Fanbase.
Okay.
I want you to. I want you on the cap table, 100%. Go to startengine.com/fanbase. The minimum to invest is $399. Now, when you get there, if it says 900 or 1,000, that's just the average investment. Manually put in $399 if you want to put in the minimum. Because some people get there and like, why does it say 900?
Right.
No, you have to. That's the average investment. People are on average investing $1,000. I want people to spend what they can, but the minimum is $399.
For sure.
So we want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest.
All right, there it is, man. Fanbase is the app. Show them some love. Show yourself some love. And this is our guy, man. You're welcome anytime. Isaac Hayes, the third in the building. We appreciate you, bro.
Go get that money from Trump.
Yeah. For sure.
We are the Morning Hustle.